Whitlock today, Hightower out. Should the Patriots still be Super Bowl favorites?
Today, absolutely, because, they're the New England Patriots and their pedigree and history say they can overcome anything. Now, Sunday night, we may have to revisit this conversation after we see what they do without Hightower. When they lost him the first game of the season to the Chiefs, their defense fell apart. He came back. He's helped improve their defense. Let's see if they fall apart again. I anticipate their defense not recovering because, you just can't have this much injury and this kind of talent loss, this kind of veteran leadership loss. And so I expect it to fall back apart. But today, it's hard for me to second-guess question Bill Belichick.
I think their offense is historic, and I think what's happened is when Randy Moss and Wes Welker, household names, become names, and Brady, it was so celebrated and so discussed. We were like, yeah, that offense is amazing. I think this offense is similar. You just don't know Brandon Cooks. You don't know Rex Burkhead. They have more weapons today than I've ever seen a team have. You go to the last 19 games on the left and go to the last 19, the best 19 Moss and Welker ever had on the right. Look at the numbers. It's the same offense. You just don't know Chris Hogan. You don't know Philip Dorsett. You don't know Brandon Cooks. You don't know Rex Burkhead. And by the way, their center's playing great. Shaq Mason's one of the top guards. Solder's good on the left side. I think this offense is way better than we think. And I think it's as good as that offense. We just celebrated the Randy Moss, Welker, Brady offense more. So I think they should be favorites.
And when you look at what they had to deal with early on, losing Julian Edelman, who was such a core part of that offense, right, and they've still been able to put up the numbers that they put up. It's smart football. It's selfless football. They take advantage of whatever the defense is giving them, and they adjust, whether it's new players, whether it's the way they have to attack a scheme, and it's the same thing defensively. So in the first part of the season, they came in thinking they were going to be something, and they realized that they have to be something else. They wanted to be more of a over and under front type defense, rush up the field, play post safety man-to-man coverage. That's not really where it's going to be for them this year. So they're transitioning more to covering up the front three like a bear front. They're playing more zone defense. They're processing what they have to be, and that's why you've seen the improvement that they've had over the last 3 games, and that's the ability this team has.
Yeah.
The Patriots are the Patriots. I mean, when you talk about them, you have to say that they're going to be back in the Super Bowl. Now, their defense is not that good, but still, when you have Tom Brady on a football team, you can never count that football team out. I mean, I think we expect the Patriots to play at this level, and then they play at that level. That's not good enough for us because you get used to this level, but they're still the New England Patriots. And I agree with you. Man, you can never, ever count them out to the last whistle blows.
Think about the last 2 Super Bowl wins for them. I think we both felt Seattle had better talent, and I think most of us felt Atlanta had equal talent, and they won both Super Bowls. They overcome a lot because they're smarter, they game plan well. I mean, let's be honest. You mostly win in the playoffs, mostly. Out-coach, out-quarterback, Belichick, Brady. Like, all I worry about defensively, can they be situationally great, third down, red zone? And then if they can force you to some field goals, they're going to drop 28.
I think everybody's made some excellent points because my mind is kind of blown, one, about this offense being as good as that historic offense with Randy Moss. And then, Eric, I think your point about they're figuring out on the move who they are defensively. And so it makes me want to follow. Hightower has been a big part of their defensive identity, leadership, a guy that Belichick can count on. Can they make this adjustment and remove this kind of talent and still overcome?
Well, they've got a guy that they haven't used very much, and he's not exactly like Hightower, but they've got David Harris there. And David Harris has been a really good linebacker for a long time.
Smart veteran guy.
He fits into that system perfectly in terms of his ability to quarterback the defense, his flexibility, where he is mentally, his leadership. So I'll be curious to see what his role is moving forward. And he hasn't had a significant role to this point. So their ability to adjust, look, Gilmore, I think, is going to get better in the system. He struggled here early. They're learning about him as well.
They have a young D lineman, too, they like.
They've got a couple young defensive linemen they're playing. So it's it's never going to be what you'd ideally want it to be, but it's going to be better than it has been.
Hey, listen, they've gone to Super Bowls without Gronk. They played years without Gronk.
Now, the only asterisk I'll put to this is Pittsburgh looks pretty good.
Yeah.
They're explosive offensively. That defense is getting saltier and saltier. They're going to be a problem.